It's Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, share, and subscribe. I was just pondering a little bit earlier today about what's happening, especially economically in this country. And I would say the biggest threat to America is our spending. We are spending absolutely out of control. The biggest threat to America at this point, and there's a lot of them, but one of the biggest ones is no doubt our spending. It is causing massive debts, massive deficits. Article today on The Hedge. What Milton Friedman said 5 decades ago about government spending still holds true today. Milton Friedman, recipient of the 1976 Nobel Prize for Economic Science, he said, keep your eye on how much the government is spending because that is the true tax. Have we ever seen taxation as high as we're seeing it right now today? Have we ever seen this much debt ever in this country? Have we seen the deficits this big? Have we seen people just this unhappy? People just don't see any hope now. We're paying for all of this crazy spending one way or another, ladies and gentlemen. You're paying through taxes, inflation, debt. You're paying for it. And your standard of living is paying for it. Everybody now, not everybody, but the majority of this country is beginning to really feel the squeeze. They're having to cut something out in order to go to dinner or pay the electricity bill, to purchase something. They're having to cut something out. Everybody now is really beginning to feel the squeeze. It's affecting the majority of this country. Here's one from The Hedge. Lowe's cuts full year outlook on challenging macroeconomic backdrop hitting homeowners. When you begin to see problems at Lowe's and Home Depot, this is when you know it's getting real. Lowe's beat second quarter earnings, but still short on sales, slashing its full year outlook due to lower than expected do-it-yourself sales. Slowing housing market, high interest rates, and elevated inflation are impacting low and mid-tier consumers, which is impacting stores like Lowe's and Home Depot. Lowe's sales were down 5.5% year over year. That's pretty substantial. But when people aren't doing the little things around the house because they don't have discretionary spending ability, you know we're seeing a big change. So keep your eyes on what's happening. I think most people are feeling the effects right now. People can look at their savings account. They can look at their credit card balances. They can look at what they're spending at the grocery store. They can look at the bills they're paying and how much money they're saving. And I think most people realize that we've got a big problem. BurgerFi might go bankrupt. Never ate there. We don't have any out here to my knowledge. They did at one point have 183 restaurants. They're now down to 122. It says that they expect to report net losses of $18.4 million for the quarter ending July 1st. They reported a $6 million loss, same period in 2023. The chain also expects to report restaurant sale declines of 4.4% year over year. In 2022, net losses topped $100 million. Right now, they're saying that they cannot repay their debts and that the lender could foreclose on their restaurants and seize their assets. So right now, they have 122 restaurants. It's probably a pretty large amount of employees. Going to see more people losing their jobs. We're going to see more of these vacant restaurants, retailers. I mean, does anybody really see what's going on here? It seems like every day we're seeing more layoffs, more job losses, more vacant buildings, more homeless, more debts, more deficits, less opportunity. It just goes on and on and on. It's really beginning to get really scary for a lot of people. I wonder how many people are really having a difficult time sleeping at night because they don't know if they're going to have a job tomorrow, or they've already lost a job and they don't know how they're going to hang on because they have no cash reserves, or they burned through the cash reserves that they had. And where do they go from here? Where do they go from here? Oakland restaurant closing after a decade of business. The restaurant, I believe it was a Mexican restaurant called Shakewell. They said it was just a heartbreaking decision to have to close the restaurant. But it's not just another vacant building. It's more dreams shattered. It's more lives that are really being affected here. The people, the family that ran this restaurant for over a decade, their dream is over. Their dream has been shattered, and it's going to be very, very difficult now to come back. A lot of people who are closing these restaurants, shuttering these restaurants, are never coming back. They're done with the business. It's over. And just think about how difficult it is now to start a business or to open a restaurant, which would literally, I mean, I don't know who would even do that at this point, but just think about the dreams that are being shattered. It's not just the empty buildings. It's not just the tax base. It's not just the inconvenience of not having a restaurant in your area that maybe that you enjoyed for years, but it's the dreams that are now being shattered with people that were in business, doing well, living their dreams, helping the area that they lived in, where people could come, hang out, eat, have a good meal. It's over. It's over. And in this article, they were talking about how people would come there, have a good time, meet, hang out, enjoy. The family that ran this restaurant would just enjoy their clientele, their customers, and just enjoyed being social with these people. And it's over. Their dreams are over. Automakers once again in meltdown mode, poised for another government-funded bailout because they followed government mandates and produced cars nobody wanted, like EVs. The billions of dollars of losses in EVs that are going to shatter the car companies, shattering them right now. They're going to need bailouts. You see the trouble, especially with Stellantis. Huge trouble. We saw what happened in the '08 crisis. All the car makers, I believe, except for Ford, getting off the private jets, with their tin cups, begging for billions of dollars of bailouts, and they'll get it. They will get it. But will you get your bailout? Who's going to come to your rescue? Who's going to bail you out? Who's going to save your house? Who's going to save your business? They'll save the automakers. They'll save banks, but they ain't going to save you. They're not going to save your house. They're not going to save your business. You will be unfortunately, part of the rubble when this all comes down. You will be part of the fallout here. The banks, the automakers, they're going to get bailed out. Don't ever forget that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that. Don't rely on the system. They're not coming to rescue you. They're not going to save you. Here's an interesting one today from Fox Business. Value of gold bar hits $1 million for first time ever. First time ever. A gold bar is worth $1 million. These bars weigh roughly about 400 troy ounces. Today, gold hit a high of $2,563. It pulled back a little bit. As I make this video, it's $2,552. Make sure that you have real money, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have some of this stuff put away. I'm not sitting here giving you financial advice. I'm not your financial planner. I'm nobody's financial planner. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing, what my circle of friends is doing, what my family is doing. We're putting away real money, gold, silver. If you need a reputable place, and we're going to talk about why it's so important to buy from a reputable place, because you can get ripped off. Be very, very careful. If you need a place that I've been dealing with going on 7 years now, SD Bullion, go to my link down below. You can go wherever you want to go. You don't have to buy gold. You don't have to buy silver. You can buy from whoever you want to. But for the people out there who are on the fence, who are nervous, who need a reputable place, I've been buying for nearly 7 years. SD Bullion, go to my link down below. They'll take very, very good care of you, and you will have nothing to worry about. And I bring this up because this article, I believe, is from the San Diego Tribune. A San Diego couple thought they'd invested in gold. Instead, they and hundreds of others say they were scammed. And this came out, oh gosh, probably last year I was reading about this, but now there's a major lawsuit. But just to give you some of the bullet points here, after months, I believe this couple, the Shorts, after months of hearing advertisements promoting the Oxford Gold Group on a local talk radio station, the Shorts began transferring checks of their retirement portfolio to a Beverly Hills company. This company, I think, was called Oxford Gold. Anyways, the metals never were recorded by Equity Trust. This happened to hundreds of people. So apparently you would buy the gold or the silver from Oxford Gold Company, and then they would supposedly send it to Equity Trust. Unfortunately, later down the road, many of these people got a letter from Equity Trust that they were no longer doing business with Oxford Gold. Millions of dollars were lost, hundreds of people involved, 27 different states. The plaintiffs say that Equity Trust failed to make sure that investments were being properly credited to the retirement accounts. The lawsuit says Oxford Gold is also being sued. So the bottom line is this, again, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. I'm sure there are very reputable, good places that you can hold physical gold and silver at. I'm not saying that they're all bad, but at the end of the day, there's always some amount of risk. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Now, this was purely just a massive scam, and you've got to be really, really careful, because as things get worse, I bring this up because as things get worse, I see more people in social media promoting more garbage. Buy these junior mining stocks, buy this, buy that, buy the pump and dumps. They're selling you garbage that is never going to help you during the worst of times. And I see more of the con artists out there trying to make a buck off of people's fears. I think people should be fearful for what's happening, especially for what's coming. Because if you're a little fearful, you're going to take action. But be careful of who you're listening to, what you're buying, who you're buying it from. Be careful if you're putting your physical gold, silver, cash, collectibles, diamonds in a vault. We had another Beverly Hills vault a couple years ago, another big lawsuit where one of the alphabet agencies raided it and everybody's money was taken, who were not involved in any sort of crime whatsoever. But they were just involved in the fallout. And it took years for them and thousands of dollars of legal fees to get their money back and to get their assets back. But, when you look at like what happened here with Oxford Gold, scamming all these people. If you don't hold it, you don't own it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the bottom line. But again, I see so many people on social media selling so much garbage. So be careful out there who you're listening to, what you're buying. It's fine to take risk, but if you can't really afford to gamble right now, then you shouldn't be taking risk. Nothing wrong buying junior mining stocks, but they're extremely risky. Don't buy things if you don't have the money to lose. Don't be gambling right now. Buy real things that you can touch, that you can hold. Avoid these people with the pump and dumps. Avoid the people who, are promising you to get rich if you buy, this, 8-cent mining stock. It's going to go to $80 next week. The chance is some of them can do very well. They can 1,000x. That's 1 in a million. Some of them will do very, very well. And if you have the means and the ability to gamble a little bit, nothing wrong with that. But there's a lot of people out there that they don't have the money to gamble, and they're listening to these people and they're taking financial advice from some very, very shady people out there. And some of these people have very questionable backgrounds, and they certainly should not be selling stocks. They certainly shouldn't be giving financial advice because they have some of the worst financial history of anybody out there. So be very, very careful. I've been making these videos for years, and I just worry about people. When I go out, I see people, they're very angry, they're very short-tempered. Some people look very worried. And again, how many people are sleeping well at night knowing that the repo man's coming for their car, they're 2 payments behind on the mortgage, or their wife just lost a job last week and now they have single family incomes or single income. People are really beginning to feel the pain, and prices aren't going down, they're continuing to go up. And here we go again, just to switch gears here a little bit. New York Post, heartless thief steals children's lemonade stand money jar containing $40. This took place in Virginia. Man in his 30s gets out of a car, steps up, orders a lemonade, and as this 10-year-old and 9-year-old are making this gentleman a lemonade, he steals their money jar and jumps in the car and takes off. I mean, what a low life. What kind of low life steals $40 from a 10-year-old sitting out there at a lemonade stand in front of their house? You know, if this doesn't tell you how bad things are right now and how bad they're going to get, I don't know what does. I mean, you got all the scams out there. You got all the crime out there. You got people robbing lemonade stands from 10-year-olds. I mean, this is just getting absolutely out of control. Imagine how bad this can really, really get. How desperate are you as a human being that you would steal $40 from a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old sitting in front of their house at a lemonade stand? I mean, personally, if I was those kids' parents, they would not be sitting outside a lemonade stand dealing with adults, period. Because it could have been even much worse. They could take more than just your money, if you know what I mean. Unbelievable. Here's another one. Vicious duo who pummeled elderly woman on New York City street, freed without bail despite arrest history. This lady was 82 years old. She was dispensing some bottles, and these two people, male and a female, just started hitting her in the face, the legs, knocking her down. This woman is 82 years old. From the pictures, it looks like this duo was in their 30s maybe. The two charged with second-degree and third-degree assault. They have a very lengthy rap sheet. These people are out walking the streets. These people are back out walking the streets. I don't know what's going on in New York, but this is unbelievable. Could you imagine this was your mother, your grandmother? Who does it? Who just walks up to an 82-year-old woman and does something like this? What is going on in the world today? You talk about pure evil. You talk about demonic entities. I mean, think about what these two are capable of doing if they were hungry. I mean, they just did this for no reason. For no reason. They didn't rob her. They just thought, I guess it was entertainment, fun, to knock an old lady down, 82 years old, and hit her in the legs, the face. This lady now has PTSD. She's afraid to leave her house. You can't blame her. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't be afraid? I don't know. And I don't know where the good people are that just stand around and watch this stuff happen. There was another one. I was watching a video yesterday. I think this happened also in New York. I don't know if you all saw this one. The bus driver asked this younger gentleman to stop spitting on his bus, and apparently he didn't listen, and he kept spitting. This bus driver, big dude, got up and he literally pummeled this dude. It was ugly. He gave this dude a beating. People are losing their minds. They really, really are. I mean, this bus driver probably has had to deal with so much on his bus that he just snapped. He just lost it. This dude who was spitting on the bus, he's lucky to be alive. I mean, he was getting pummeled, and this dude was big. But that bus driver probably just been putting up with stuff day after day, just the lawlessness on his bus, the chaos on his bus, no respect, and he just lost it. You could tell this guy just lost it. I mean, people just had to help him defuse. He's lucky, he's not up on murder charges. But apparently the dude's going to be okay. I don't know what's going to happen to the bus driver, but you could just tell this dude just had enough. He just snapped. And you can tell a lot of people in society, it's like a powder keg. They're just one thing away from snapping because they have just so much frustration. They're worrying about paying the bills. They're worried about their kids. They're worried about their job. They're dealing with all these losers, and they're just snapping. And so you got to be careful out there. You really, really do. So anyways, just wanted to report some of this with all of you. Watched a little bit of the convention last night. It was very disappointing. I will say that. We'll see if it improves tonight. What are your thoughts? Are you watching the convention at all? I'm going to watch it a little bit more this evening. We've got Jerome Powell and the Fed coming out, I believe, Friday. And I'm sure he's going to juice the markets. Gold having a big day, silver doing nice. I would think that the metals probably do very well on Friday. I don't know, but that's what I'm forecasting. If Jerome Powell goes along with everything they have planned, it seems like he's going to cut rates in September, and he could give some positive statements on top of September, and some more cuts after that. Maybe, you know, he will hint to multiple cuts this year and multiple cuts next year, and markets will love it, and the metals are going to no doubt go up if that happens, in my opinion. We'll see. You can't predict anything now with these markets because they're so manipulated. Who knows? But I'm going to leave it there today. Comment on any of this stuff you want to. What do you think about the convention last night? Where's this all going, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, we are living in very, very exciting times, very, very dangerous times, all wound up in one. We're going to see how it plays out. We can only take one day at a time. My advice as I leave you today is be praying to God for guidance, direction, and protection, because we are absolutely heading in some very, very dark times. So make sure you're walking close to God. That's the best advice I could give anybody today. If you really believe that things are falling apart, if you really believe that things are going to get bad, you better get right with God. You better be walking close to God, and you better be asking God for direction. So I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day. God bless. Talk to all of you soon.